this is the ground and not just we happen to start in a really good spot, right? It's so nice. Like at first it was just relief, but now I'm like actually starting to get excited.
Imagine striking gold. Literally. That's what's happening at Dominion Creek. Parker and his crew hit the jackpot with their new wash plant, nicknamed Roxanne. It's like they landed on the perfect spot on the game board right from the start. At first, they were just relieved to get things rolling, but now, Parker's buzzing with excitement because this operation could rake in $120,000 a day. It's like finding a treasure chest in an old, forgotten mine. And they're ready to cash in. So, picture this. It's a busy day, and the team's testing out Roxanne in its first full week. This beast of a machine is chugging along, washing dirt to reveal shiny gold. Tatiana, one of the crew, is still getting the hang of it. She's like the new kid figuring out the ropes. Meanwhile, Tyson and Mitch, the gear geniuses, rigged up a conveyor belt that spits out all the junk they don't want. No more back-breaking work for the team. This means Tatiana can kick back, well, sort of, and still get paid, even from a distance. At the start, Tatiana's tossing in 250 yards of gold-rich dirt every hour. Think of it like feeding a hungry monster that spits out treasure. Then Parker rolls up with big ideas. He's the boss who's all about pushing limits. He tells Alex, "Let's crank it up, 20% more dirt." Alex, scratching his head, wonders if they've got enough water to wash all that extra mud. Parker's not budging. He's got that gold fever. So Alex shrugs and says, "All right, boss, you got it." Why? Because more dirt through the sluice equals more gold, and more gold equals fatter paychecks for everyone. In the end, Parker bumps Roxanne up to 300 yards an hour, like turning up the dial on a money-making machine. Alex ramps up the water too, from 2,800 to 3,000 gallons a minute, to keep that extra dirt flowing smoothly. It's a wild ride, but when the gold starts piling up, you can bet the whole crew's grinning ear to ear. Let's dive back into the gold mining adventure at Dominion Creek and make it super easy to follow, like I'm chatting with you over a campfire. So, after Parker cranked up the wash plant Roxanne to churn through more dirt, he gave Tatiana the heads up about the change and then took off. Tatiana's still figuring out this shiny new toy. Roxanne's a bit of a puzzle for her. Luckily, Tyson and Mitch hooked up a conveyor belt that blasts away the chunky leftovers, those coarse tailings, so the crew doesn't have to mess with them. Now, Tatiana can grab what she needs from way farther away. And those belts? They're zipping along faster than the old setup. Talk about an upgrade. But here's where it gets wild. Tatiana's hustling to keep up with Parker's big 20% increase when, water starts leaking out of the distribution box, splashing all over the ground. It's like the plant saying, "Whoa, slow down, I'm stuffed." The box, which splits up the water and dirt, got clogged. Too much mud, too much water, too fast. Tatiana spots the mess and yells for Mitch to come take a look. From Mitch's point of view, everything was humming along perfectly before Parker turned up the dial. Now, with Roxanne running 20% over its limit, it's like a kid who ate too much candy. Stuff spilling everywhere. Mitch is all about taking it slow and steady with a plant like Roxanne, or Roxanne, as he calls it. Cute nickname, right? But Parker? Patience isn't his thing. By jacking up the feed rate and water flow, he basically drowned the poor distribution box. The plant's in chaos mode now. Dirt's bubbling over, water's gushing out, and it's a total disaster. That leaking water? It's bad news. It could erode the ground underneath, making it shaky. If that happens, the crew would have to tear down Roxanne and rebuild somewhere else. That's a massive headache. Tons of time and effort wasted when they should be raking in gold instead. Mitch is stuck in a tough spot. He's thinking, okay, Parker wanted it at like full blast, 20% more, but do we even have enough water for this? He's got to juggle keeping the water flowing smoothly while washing all that extra dirt Parker's throwing in. But the only way to fix this mess, shut Roxanne down. No more dirt coming in until they sort it out. It's a race against the clock and the mud to keep the gold dream alive. So, Tatiana's got a mess on her hands with Roxanne, the wash plant. Before she can fix anything, she's got to let the feeder run out of dirt, like waiting for the last slice of pizza to disappear before grabbing more. Mitch, meanwhile, is in a race against time. With the plant shut down, no gold's coming in, and that's a problem. Parker's not exactly the let's take a break type. Roxanne's fancy spray bars are going full blast, dumping water everywhere like a busted sprinkler. Mitch comes up with a clever fix. Slap some nozzles on those spray bars. It's like putting a better nozzle on your garden hose. More pressure, less water wasted, and it'll smash through that extra dirt Parker's piling in. If he gets it just right, the rocks come out clean and they don't need as much water. The nozzles spread the water into a nice, even wall, tackling the dirt like a pro. Time to test it. Mitch dials the pump back to 2,800 gallons a minute and keeps the dirt flowing at 300 yards an hour. Roxanne's humming along again, and Mitch heads off to update Parker. He spills the beans about the chaos, overflows, clogged boxes, the works. Someone named Chris Doom, cool name, right, chimes in, suggesting they might have lost a little gold in the mess. But it's time to see what they've got. Meanwhile, over at Australia Creek, another wash plant called Lucifer, yep, devilishly good, has been crushing it for a month, pulling in 145 ounces of gold a week. After a weigh-in, they score 270.05 ounces, over $540,000. Not too shabby. Then there's Big Red, Parker's cash cow, averaging 370 ounces a week with Roxanne's gold. Even with Roxanne's hiccups, Parker's crew still hauls in 453.8 ounces in a week, nearly $120,000 in a single day, and over $1.4 million for the season's biggest catch. But wait, there's more. Parker's had an even crazier week, 723.85 ounces, over 700 ounces in 7 days. That's like hitting the jackpot on every slot machine in Vegas. The guy's turning dirt into a gold mine, one wild day at a time. Parker and his team stumble onto something straight out of a legend. An old, abandoned mine packed with gold that nobody's touched in forever. It's like finding a pirate's chest, just sitting there, begging to be opened. They're pumped, practically tripping over themselves with excitement, and they jump right in, yanking out gold faster than you can say jackpot. It's a total rush. But as they dig deeper, things start getting weird. They spot odd tools, strange carvings on the walls, and creepy signs popping up like little red flags. It's almost like someone from way back left a note saying, "Hey, don't mess with this place." Parker, though? He's not the type to chicken out when there's gold on the line. He shrugs off the warnings and keeps pushing, even as the vibe gets spookier. Then, bam, they hit the mother lode. At first, it's a dream come true. Thick, glittering veins of gold sparkling in the rocks, glowing even in the faint light. No rusty old picks or toxic mercury mess. Just pure, untouched gold screaming to be grabbed. Parker's all over it, claiming every shiny nugget without a second thought. But here's the kicker. Gold this good? It's never that simple. What they've uncovered isn't just a pile of riches, it's a puzzle dipped in danger. It jogs a memory for Parker, something his grandpa once told him about. Back in the day, Grandpa scored a crazy 42 ounces of gold in just one day. Total legend stuff. But 4 hours later, things went sideways. A weird noise rumbled up from the ground, and it hit them. This wasn't just a mine. It was something bigger, something freaky. Parker's crew isn't dealing with fancy million-dollar machines or icy permafrost like up in the Yukon. It's just them, the mine, and this creepy feeling that's growing by the minute. Parker's curiosity kicks in hard. He's thinking, if this is anything like those wild Yukon hauls, the best stuff, the chunky, coarse gold, is deeper down. So he turns to his team and says, "Hey, you cool if we hang out here a bit longer? I've got a hunch there's more to find." So, Parker and his crew are knee-deep in this mysterious old mine they stumbled upon. Someone on the team, maybe Stephanie, jokes, "Oh, she's gone, but we're still here, ready to roll." Parker's pumped, saying, "Sweet, let's hunt down the good stuff." They thought they were just chasing gold, but oh boy, they've kicked open a door to something way bigger, something that was supposed to stay hidden. This isn't your typical mining gig with fancy gear and big crews. Nope, it's simple, old-school digging. And it's paying off fast. In just a few hours, they've yanked out over 100 grams of gold. It's like they're swiping treasure straight out of a history book. But something's nagging at them. It feels off. The deeper they go, the more questions pop up. Who ditched this gold mine? And why didn't they come back for it? If it's this loaded, what's the catch? Just when they think they're hitting the jackpot zone, they find clues. Proof they're not the first ones here. Whoever came before bolted in a hurry, leaving the place like a ghost town. As Parker's team clears out the site, it hits them. This isn't just some forgotten hole in the ground. It's a time capsule. The rocks don't match today's maps, and the tools they find? Way too slick for back in the day. Plus, there's something else down there. Something even better than gold, though they're not sure what yet. Parker's used to throwing millions at riverbank dirt, scooping it up like it's no big deal. Every scoop's a gamble, either a ticket to riches or a slap-in-the-face bust. He's been in hairy situations before, but this mine, it's got a vibe, like it's whispering about miners who tried and tanked long ago. Still, Parker's guts screaming, "Keep going!" To him and his crew, this feels like the dream mine they've been chasing forever. They can't wrap their heads around why anyone would ditch a gold mine this rich. So, they decide to dig like crazy while piecing together the puzzle. But the deeper they go, the shakier the ground gets. Literally. Then they realize something's been hiding down there for centuries, just waiting. They finally hit bedrock, the make-or-break layer. It's do-or-die time, strike it rich, or walk away with zilch. And then, boom! There it is. Gold. Tons of it. More than they'd hoped for. More than anyone around there's seen in ages. It's like they've cracked open the ultimate treasure chest, proving all the weirdness was worth it. Parker's crew just hit the jackpot of a lifetime.